Good morning, my dear students. Today we are going to discuss the female reproductive system of human being. Female reproductive system. Reproductive. Female reproductive system of human being. The female reproductive system of human beings mainly consisting of ovaries, ovaries, oviduct, oviduct, uterus, vagina, vagina, external genitalia, external genitalia, external genitalia. In human beings, the female human beings, a pair of ovaries, one pair of ovaries present in the abdominal cavity, each on the abdominal cavity on each side. That means one pair of ovaries are present in the abdominal cavity. Next, oviduct. One pair of oviducts. One pair of oviducts. Uterus is one uterus. Single. Vagina, single. External genitalia also called vulva. Vulva. External genitalia. Okay, clear? Dear students, the main parts in the female reproductive system: one pair of ovaries, one pair of oviducts, one uterus, one vagina, external genitalia. Also, we can add one more, that is the secondary sexual character, that is called pair of mammary glands. Pair of mammary glands. Okay, these are the parts in female reproductive system. Okay, next. Now we see the ovaries. See the ovaries. Ovaries. You see the ovaries. Ovaries are in the abdominal cavity. It is connected to the abdominal cavity. If you see the structure of the ovary, it is like this. Ovary is connected to the abdominal cavity by one peritoneal layer. This is called mesovarium. 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 So this is the ovary. This ovary is divided into two regions. This is a external region. This is internal region. That means the space in the ovary is known as stroma. Stroma is divided into external cortex, inner medulla. This is called medulla. Inner medulla. In the external cortex, what represent external cortex? In the external cortex, these are the developing follicles are present. The millions of follicles are present. These are the millions of follicles are present. The millions of follicles are present. So they are primordial follicle, primary follicle, primary follicle, secondary follicle, secondary follicle, tertiary follicle, also Graafian follicle, tertiary follicle. In this medulla part, there are many blood vessels, lymph vessels, nerves, these are present. This is called medullary stroma. The medullary stroma, blood vessels, lymph vessels, nerves present in the medullary stroma. So this is called ovary. The pair of ovaries are present, each ovary connected to the abdominal cavity by the peritoneum known as mesovarium. This is the ovary. The main function of the ovary, so they generate ova, female gametes. And also the ovaries also secrete many steroid hormones. Steroid hormones. It is like endocrine gland, and also is a it also gives the ova. It is very very important in the oogenesis. Okay, this is the ovary. Next, if you see the like structure, it is known as this is a oviduct. Okay, now right, this is like this. This is like this, like this. So these are the one pair of oviducts. So each oviduct is having the starts with infundibulum, infundibulum, infundibulum. This infundibulum having the finger like projections called fimbriae, fimbriae. Okay, here we can see the here you can see the Here you can see the ovaries. The pair of ovaries here. So during the ovulation, this fimbriae can collect the ova. Collect the ova. This fimbriae. Okay. So this fimbriae can collect the ova during the ovulation. Next, it leads to the like a ampulla. This ampulla isthmus, narrow part, isthmus. Now this duct is known as fallopian duct. Fallopian duct. In the junction of the ampulla and isthmus, here fertilization takes place. So fertilization takes place. Fertilization takes place in the fallopian duct. So this ova. Next one, next about this fallopian duct is connected to the abdominal wall by another peritoneal layer. This peritoneal layer is known as mesosalpinx. Mesosalpinx. Understand? Clear? So the peritoneum between the ovaries known as mesovarium. The peritoneum between the abdominal cavity and fallopian tube is called mesosalpinx. Now, if we coming to the one another important is called uterus. This is also called womb. Womb. This uterus is actually present in between urinary bladder and also rectum of female human beings. Urinary bladder and also rectum. Urinary bladder and rectum. Okay, my dear students. Now, the coming to the uterus. So this uterus also connected to the abdominal cavity by another peritoneal layer. This is known as mesometrium. 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 Next. Now this is the uterus. You know that in the uterus, this uterus again having the three layers, right? Three layers. What is called three layers in the uterus? Made up of perimetrium, myometrium, muscular structures are there, muscles are present. Myometrium, endometrium, the glandular epithelium. This is called endometrium. During the menstrual cycle, the endometrium undergoes many cyclic changes in the menstrual cycle. Okay, this is uterus. So in the uterus, mainly in the gestation period, occurs in this uterus. Okay. Now this uterus leads to the another structure is known as vagina. So this part is known as cervix. The uterus continued as a vagina through a narrow duct is known as cervix. The cervix leads to the vaginal cavity, cervical canal. Here cervical canal, next it is vaginal canal. This is a vagina. The vagina copulation takes place, intercourse takes place. So this is the structure of the female reproductive system: pair of ovaries, pair of oviducts, one uterus, and one vagina. This is the female reproductive system. The female reproductive system. So in the fallopian tube, fertilization takes place. In the uterus, implantation and gestation takes place in the uterus. This uterus is having three layers, that is a perimetrium, myometrium, endometrium. Okay. So mainly the endometrium undergoes many cyclic changes in the menstrual cycle, then leads to the vagina. Okay. Next, vagina. Next is external genitalia, is also known as vulva. External genitalia. So this vagina entered into the leads to the one cavity, like that is called vestibule. This is a vestibule. This is vestibule. Vestibule. In the vestibule, the two openings are present. Two openings are present. Two openings. Okay. The openings are, this is called urethral orifice. Urethral orifice. This is vaginal orifice or vaginal aperture or urethral aperture. Okay. So the urethra opened through the urethral orifice or urethral aperture. The vagina, cervix, vagina leads to the open to the vaginal aperture. Okay, my dear student. Along in the next, it is covered by the foldings, the called muscular foldings. Muscular foldings. Labia minora. Labia minora. Next, it is also covered by another foldings is known as labia majora. Okay. Above the labia majora, it is a muscular and a fatty structure with pubic hair is present. This is called mons pubis. Mons pubis. Okay. So labia minora, this is a vaginal aperture. This is the urethral orifice. Okay, this is the structure of the vulva or external genitalia. In the female reproductive system, two accessory glands also present. One is called Bartholin glands. Bartholin glands are greater vestibular glands. Greater vestibular glands. Greater vestibular glands. Next is called Skin's gland. Skin's glands. Lesser vestibular glands. Lesser vestibular glands. Okay, students, please note down this. Here, Bartholin glands. So the Bartholin glands are one pair of Bartholin glands are present in this here. And is another is called skin glands. So the Bartholin glands secrete mucus which lubricates the vagina. Lubricates the vagina. So this Bartholin gland is homologous. This Bartholin gland is homologous to the bulbourethral glands of bulbourethral glands. Bulbourethral glands of male reproductive system. Male reproductive system. The skin glands are homologous to the prostate gland. Prostate glands of the male reproductive system. So mainly these glands are useful in the lubrication of the vagina during intercourse or coitus. Okay now? Okay students, clear? Please take this. Okay, here the upper junction of the labia minora, one erectile structure is present. Sensitive and erectile structure is present. This is known as clitoris. Clitoris. It is homologous to the penis of human beings, male human beings. The male reproductive system, the copulatory organ is penis. So this clitoris is also, in the penis already you know that the penis is having the three muscular bundles. The two are dorsal, one is ventral. These two are known as corpora cavernosa. The ventral is called corpus spongiosum. The same corpora cavernosa present in the penis. That's what is structurally similar to the penis. So that's what clitoris is homologous to the male reproductive. This is a penis. Okay. So these are the external genitalia. In the external genitalia, what are present here, students? The external genitalia, urethral, one is structure is known as vestibule. This vestibule is having two openings, urethral orifice, urethra opens, vaginal aperture, and it is covered by two foldings. They are called labia minora, and at the junction of the upper junction of the labia minora, clitoris present, and it is also surrounded by the another is folding known as labia majora, and above the labia majora, mons pubis is present. The pubic hair also present there. So this is the external genitalia. Now, my dear students, next go to the mammary glands. Mammary glands. Okay, got it. Next, mammary glands. Mammary glands. Mammary glands. Okay, the mammary glands, the presence of mammary glands is a characteristic feature of mammals. You know that. The in female reproductive system, these are secondary sexual, they are secondary sexual characters, also known as the breast development. Breast development is one of the important secondary sexual characters. Okay, so the mammary glands are one pair of mammary glands. One pair of mammary glands. One pair of mammary glands present. It is also known as breast. Okay, these mammary glands, if you see the mammary glands, like these are the ribs. This is the muzzle like. The mammary glands are, it is composed of glandular glands and fat. Now here you can see the ribs, like this. So between the ribs, the muscles here, with the muscles between the ribs known as intercostal muscles. Intercostal muscles. These intercostal muscles are also useful in the breathing. Okay. Next, if you see the mammary gland structure, mammary glands. The mammary gland structure, in the mammary gland, each mammary gland is divided into like compartments. These compartments are mammary lobes. Each mammary gland or each breast is gland consisting of 15 to 20 mammary lobes. Compartments like this. Compartments. Okay, so in the compartments, how many? 15 to 20 each breast lobes. So in this here, okay, this is known as duct like this, ampulla. Here many lobules are present. They are ends with a satellite structures or cluster of cells. These cluster of cells known as alveolus. Each one is alveolus. The plural is alveoli. Okay. The cluster of cells, alveolus or alveoli, they secrete milk. They secrete milk. Okay. So these alveolus, the alveolus are opened into the ducts known as mammary ducts. Mammary ducts. Mammary ducts. These mammary ducts are opened into the ampulla. Like these ampullas are opened into the like ampulla. They are united form lactiferous duct. Lactiferous duct. Lactiferous duct. These lactiferous duct open through the nipple. Nipple. Okay, my dear students. So the breast, each breast is having compartments like 15 to 20 compartments. Okay, they are called mammary lobes. In the each compartments, the cluster of cells are present. They are called alveoli. Okay, so these alveoli are opened into the, they are called mammary ducts. The all mammary ducts like extends and form the lumen like structure. The swollen part is known as ampulla. These are opened into the lactiferous duct. This lactiferous duct opened through the nipple. These through the nipple, the baby sucks the milk through the nipple. These are the mammary glands, so these mammary glands like this. Again, this is a ampulla like this. This is the mammary glands. Okay, my dear students. So far what we have learnt? What we have learnt so far? Yes, the female reproductive system. The quick recapitulation. The female reproductive system consisting of pair of ovaries, pair of oviducts, one uterus, vagina, external genitalia or vulva, and also pair of mammary glands. Next, if you see the ovaries, the ovaries are, each ovary is, the each ovary, also this layer is called tunica albuginea. You know that already, we have seen in the testes, tunica albuginea, and it is also called by germinal epithelium. Germinal epithelium. Okay, and it is having the stroma. The stroma is divided into cortex and medulla. In the cortex region, the different stages of follicles are present in this. In the medullary region, blood vessels, lymph vessels, nerves are present. It is connected to the abdominal cavity by the peritoneal layer that is called mesovarium. Next, these are the ovaries. Next, if you see the oviducts, the oviduct is having the one funnel-like structure is called as infundibulum. This infundibulum having the finger-like projections called as fimbriae. These fimbriae are helpful to collect the ova during ovulation. Now it leads to the fallopian tube. In this fallopian tube, the swollen part is called ampulla and the narrow is called isthmus. The junction of the isthmus and ampulla, fertilization takes place. Next, so it is also connected to the abdominal cavity by the peritoneal layer that is called mesosalpinx. Next, it leads to the uterus. Mainly this uterus is located between the urinary bladder and rectum. Now it is also connected to the peritoneal layer is called mesometrium. The wall of the uterus is of three parts, three layers. One is called perimetrium, middle is called myometrium with muscles. So endometrium is the glandular epithelium present here. Mainly the glandular epithelium undergoes cyclic changes during the menstrual cycle. Okay. Next, it leads to the vagina through the narrow cavities known as cervix. Now, this cervix leads to the cervical canal and also vaginal canal, also birth canal, then leads to the vagina. In the vagina is a copulatory organ of female reproductive in the females. Now it leads to the vestibule. If you see the vestibule having the two openings. One is urethral orifice or aperture, vaginal orifice or aperture. It is covered by two foldings called labia minora. At the junction of the labia minora, clitoris present. It is a erectile sensitive structure homologous to penis of male reproductive system. Next, it is again the labia minora also covered by labia majora. Labia majora. So the above the labia majora, the mons pubis present. Next, so in this accessory glands also present, Bartholin glands. They are also known as greater vestibular glands above. So Skin's gland, lesser vestibular glands. So both glands are useful, mainly the lubricating the vagina during the copulation. So these are the accessory glands. Next, the important last is secondary sexual organ is known as mammary gland. So the mammary gland is also known as breast. You can say that the breast, each breast having 15 to 20 mammary lobes are present. So these lobes having the cluster of cells known as alveoli. These alveoli leads to the mammary ducts. These mammary ducts are open to the ampulla to lactiferous duct. Lactiferous duct leads to the open through the nipple. Opens through the nipple. Okay. So mainly the milk is produced by alveoli, which are stored in the ampulla. Okay. So these are the female reproductive system. My dear, these are the parts of the female reproductive system. Thank you very much, my dear students. If you have any doubt, you can ask me. Right. Thank you. Goodbye.